Good evening, everybody. It's Obi here with Lionstrong Fitness Global, and I want to thank you for tuning in for another video on this channel. Guys, before we get started, be sure to understand that in these videos, I like to go into more nuanced discussions when it comes to topics related to fitness, training, the whole nine. I think people oftentimes tend to overlook a lot of the subliminals and a lot of the intangibles when it comes to training. And on this channel, we like to dive deep and really get a better understanding, because essentially it's all about simplifying things. And as we used to say in my years as an athlete, you want to make it so that you don't have to think. So much so that you don't think, so that way you can play fast. Okay. So guys, go ahead and grab some popcorn for this video. We're gonna get started. So guys, I want to start by saying that if you're training in the old, outdated way, and what does that mean? You're doing your 3 sets of 10, you're spending hours in the gym. You think that you have to do every exercise in the gym, which is the reason why you spend so much time there. If that's something that you're doing, you might as well just stop now, because you're spinning your wheels. Or better yet, don't stop, keep doing it, and you'll just be left behind. While the people who follow the method that I'm going to be discussing are going to continue to make results, and at some point, if not already, surpass what you're doing. So guys, let's talk about the first thing people oftentimes do, and that's the 3 sets of 10. Everyone talks about that. I do so many consultations, I talk to so many people, and the funny thing is, when I always ask them, right, what they do, now mind you, I don't say nothing to them, but I just kind of laugh in my head, because I know they're going to say this, because everyone does it. They say, well, I'm not really getting the best results, and I think I'm plateauing, which makes sense, right? And I would ask them, so what are you doing? Well, I do 3 sets of 10, this, and this, and this. And guys, what's the problem with doing 3 sets of 10? Well, for starters, if you know how many reps you're going to be doing going into a workout, you've lost, okay? I always tell people that if you can go into your workout and predict what you're going to do, then that means you're not really creating an environment where the body is going to be surprised, perplexed. You're going to be throwing all these curveballs at what you're doing, because remember, when it comes to training, the body has to adapt to a new stimulus. So if you're doing the same thing all the time, the body's not getting what it needs. It's not being given the opportunity to adapt to something different, because it's doing the same thing. Now, my approach, which is the Lionstrong Fusion method approach, I prefer to adopt that athletic mentality and train for time. So how does that work? Well, essentially, I believe in people getting some type of clock, a stopwatch, and you're setting it between 1 to 3 minutes. Okay. And, no matter if you're doing bicep curls, lunges, reverse lunges, jump squats, or what have you, you're going to do this or a group of movements for that amount of time. And you're not going to stop until the time goes up, until the time runs out. Now, people may think that's overkill, or, well, you're just building endurance. You are building endurance, but you're also building musculoskeletal strength. You're building muscle as well. You're building musculoskeletal muscle, which is basically hypertrophy. And you're also building strength, functional strength. And people don't understand that when it comes to doing this kind of training, the reason why it works so well is because you're developing yourself mentally. You're putting yourself in a very primal position to where you're developing that mental toughness. You're pushing back your limits, and the body's like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this is something that's unorthodox, but that's what you need if you want to make progress. And the great thing about training in this capacity, you'll never experience plateauing. You want to know why? It's because it doesn't matter if you're using your body weight, 15 pounds, 50 pounds, 80 pounds, or whatever. When you're doing training for that long, right, the body tends to go into shutdown mode. It tends to ask other muscle groups to help out, because whether it be your legs you're working, now the back has to help, now the shoulders have to help. When you can get all these different systems in your body, these different muscle groups to help out, Now you're really tapping into you stimulating a lot of muscle, you burning tons of calories. But most importantly, as I always talk about, which is the main goal of training, is to stimulate that metabolism. That's the key, guys. And when it comes to stimulating that metabolism, you have to throw things at your body that it's not prepared for. But here's the beauty of it. You do it once, your body's now ready to take on it again. And then from there, you make it more challenging. So that's why I believe in doing that. And if you're doing 3 sets of 10, guys, you're not really challenging yourself. And to be honest with you, I don't believe in doing anything under 30 reps anyway. So you're basically warming up. And also too, guys, we're going to talk about the fact that people think they have to train at the gym. And again, I'm speaking from personal experience as someone who's a coach, who's worked with lots of people. And I find and I notice that a lot of people tend to keep themselves away from training because they associate training with where they think they have to go. They think they have to go to this gym to work out. And one thing I've learned is, even though there are a number of people out there who like to go to the gym, it's more of like a relaxing event. It's a different change of scenery, which is a fantastic thing, right? That's what it's there for. But the reality is that the majority of individuals, if I lined up 100 people, 97 of them don't want to go to the gym. Okay? So it'd be foolish to create something that's incentivizing people to go to a place that they don't want to go to begin with. Okay? So now how do we meet them in the middle? Okay? You meet them in the middle by providing them solutions in which they can still get the results in which they would get if they went to the gym, but instead they can do it in the comfort of their hotel room. They can do it in the comfort of their living room. You can watch, the TV's right there. You can watch your favorite TV show. I record my video, guys, in the kitchen, right? Stove is right here. As you're preparing your favorite dish, as you're microwaving something, you can always do your workouts right then and there. So you're not subjected to do it anywhere or any particular place, right? And I think that's a great feeling because it gives you options. It makes it more exciting because you don't have to go to this dreadful place, or at least people find it to be dreadful. You can do it anywhere, anytime. And it also, guys, that's what also inspired me to create my Lionstrong training programs, which, by the way, you can find on lionstrongfitness.net/fusion. That it's amazing that there are people all over the world. There are people that live out in the country. They don't have access to a gym. I have people that, I have a lot of people from Brazil, a lot of my Brazilians out there. A lot of them get my programs, and, they love the fact that they can be so mobile. They can be so, not so stuck in one location. And that's an amazing thing. And guys, I have people that I know that do quite a bit of traveling. And you know how great it is, no matter how busy your day is, no matter how busy your schedule is, no matter how many meetings you have, you can always get your training done, okay? Why not be in a system to where you can always get your stuff done no matter what? That's what you want. Because remember, if you can get your stuff done no matter what, that's when the consistency comes in. And now that consistency has a compounding effect. But how does that compounding effect take place? It takes place when things are set up for it to win. When you're set up for things to win on your behalf. But how can I create that compounding effect if I'm having you go to a place you don't want to go, the gym? If I'm having you do regimens or adhere to certain protocols like a 3 sets of 10, which doesn't work, okay? And also, why would I have you spend hours and hours trying to train or whatever? Anybody who's busy, 2 hours is a long time, guys. And even if you're not that busy, why do you want to spend all that time training if you don't have to, guys? So guys, that's just the thing is, you want to make sure that when you're doing your training, you want to make sure that it's something that's going to deliver results, number one. But how can we get there in the most efficient way possible? Okay? So guys, in this video, I'm just trying to provide information that I think and I know is valuable. But most importantly, guys, you want to get to the outcome without all the headache. If you can avoid all the headache and all the distress and not knowing what to do, which many of you do, if you're going to be honest here, okay, then you're on your way to win. And that's why, like I said, guys, the Lionstrong Fusion training programs is an excellent option for not only just people that are here locally, people all over the world, guys. That's why I've made it, okay? Lionstrong Fitness Global is a global entity, and it's something that people, when they can get on board with, they can really maximize their gains, but most importantly, have something sustainable that they can keep doing, not just now, but a lot moving forward. So, well, guys, that's the video, guys. In this video, we just talked about why the traditional training models are not working, and they will continue not to work, and that you need to get yourself on something that's going to allow you to maximize your inputs, which will help maximize your outputs. Guys, this is Obi with Lionstrong Fitness Global. I want to thank you for taking the time. For those of you who watched my video, be sure to hit the like button, and stay tuned for more, guys. I have more content coming out. And once again, have a great day. See you guys later.